Hello everyone, this is a very sick, feverish, congested Brian bringing you episode 27 of my Reusable Space Program career, the final video in .90 beta. At this point 1.0 is out and I'm already building up a save file to use to kind of mirror this save game. So this module here will generate the punch cards necessary to keep the power systems running down at the fuel mining base, and when I detached it somehow it picked up a spin, so I'm trying to correct that here on EVA just by pushing it around so it stops spinning. Took a couple of tries. And then I'll back the orbital transfer vehicle away and let the cargo lander move in to do the docking. And this is kind of a tight fit, so I should probably widen these legs a little bit. That should make it easier. Now once this is complete, I will bring in the orbital transfer vehicle again and top off the fuel tanks of the cargo lander. Just getting all those arms and things ready for landing. Now with this, remember I have that broken docking node at the top of the cargo lander, so I just have to fly in a very delicate formation, and if you do this in your Kerbal Space Program games, take your time. Get this thing set up nice and stable next to it with practically no relative velocity, and turn off your SASs, because what will happen is if they're drifting apart, one will kind of yank on the other one, and then the other one's SAS kind of yanks back. I'm not sure how that works, but that's what seems to happen. And then they start kind of a tug-of-war, which gets worse and worse until they fly apart and explode. This is, of course, at 3 times sped up speed here in post. Because, hey, you know, after all, this game is kind of slow and mellow, and that's one of the reasons why I like it. But for viewing, probably best to get to the point. So you can see that fuel nozzle in the back of the orbital transfer vehicle. I'm just positioning it very close to the fuel nozzle on the cargo vehicle. Rotating the cargo vehicle will help that a little bit. There it is. You can see it just coming into view on the fuel tank. And after they're linked up, move some fuel around. I'm going to keep just enough in the transfer vehicle, of course, to make it back to Kerbin, make it back to orbit. And then to do the monopropellant tanks, probably easier to do it this way. Now that's done after disconnecting. Got a path set up pretty much just like the last landing you saw. This is a South Pole base in a dark crater in there. I've talked about this before. I'm trying to emulate what would be happening in real life on one of the poles and craters of our real moon. Now to guard against falling over, I'm going to spread out these landing legs a little bit. Hopefully that will help. And I've got one node here that's going to adjust the inclination so that I pass right over the crater. And I'm doing this in post commentary, of course, and it looks like I also have it set up to lower its altitude at the same time. My goal here, of course, is to end up directly over the target with about 4,000 meters above ground level. Okay, I think I'm pretty much coming in on target. And I think it's pretty clear to me now that I need to change out this lander for one of a different design. Just not liking how fragile those wheels are. I chose this because those were all the wheels I had when I created this, but I've got some ideas that I need to implement here for the 1.0 game. Trying to eliminate all my surface horizontal speed and hopefully stop directly over the landing site. Alright, 200 meters per second. Retrograde marker of the nav ball up at about 45 degrees, that's good. 50 meters per second. And engine cutout. Okay, 1 meter per second surface horizontal speed, that's good. Now I'm going to try and hurry over to where the target is, which is the pink icon there. If I get them right on top of each other, it means I'm headed downwards right towards the other modules on the ground, which is perfect. Gotta make some more adjustments. I do have a fair amount of surface horizontal speed here I'm trying to correct. Alright, well, I'm not going to land directly next to them, but I know there's flat ground on this side, so that's fine. There we go, going more or less straight up and down. The landing legs out on the control module, command module, whatever you call it. There we go. Oh, hit a little bit hard. And yes, once again, over it goes. And now with more broken tires, yay. Well, my initial reaction is that maybe it had enough rotational momentum there to kick it right back up onto its feet, but had I been able to pull in the legs very, very quickly, maybe I could have pulled that off, but it wasn't to be. So now I just need to let it settle and then see what I can do about it. Try pulling in these legs first. Maybe use the engines to kick it up. It wants to go the wrong way. Okay, now I got it moving slowly in the right direction. Bring these legs in too, so that they don't stop me. Well, whoa. Maybe I can get it to go up all by itself. Hey, there we go. Definitely something to be said for a flexible landing system. And a little while later, I've got the control module, command module set up next to the base. And let's do some base construction here. This will take some time. If you want to skip some of this, yeah, head over to the end of the video and you'll kind of see what this looks like when it's done. So on that satellite I launched in the last episode that was headed towards Minmus to do some contracts. One of the contracts was to put it into a colony orbit. And very interesting thing happened that I really wish I had caught on camera, so to speak. I was way up high at the apoapsis, and I went to set the periapsis. I got it set as accurately as I could, but apparently it was off just a little bit. And then I time warped around and I heard this explosion. Well, I went and looked at the satellite and the orbit had completely changed and what's going on, and it turned out that I was off on the periapsis just enough. The periapsis was so low anyway that it clipped the ground, and all it did was blow the engine off the bottom of the satellite. It didn't touch the rest of it, which is pretty amazing. And the satellite was able to continue on and complete the mission just using RCS, but I thought that was kind of funny. Of course, had I seen that happening, it would never have happened because I would have been able to correct it pretty easily. Hence my inability to film it. Alright, so what I'm doing right here is trying to create a nice tidy base, setting these pipe endpoints on an object very close to the ground. That's the ground pylon there, so that these pipes don't cross long distances over the ground at chest height or helmet height. And these ground pylons are kind of neat. And what I'm doing here is I'm just basically creating a little comm station. So I need to link these together. I'm going to grab the satellite dish. There we go. This is looking more Mun Base-y all the time. How's that for a word? Now the other thing I want to set up out here is a place for vehicles to get refueled. So that they land, they just pull up next to one of these, then connect a pipe, and it's ready to go. Lots and lots of pipe endpoints. Alright, let's get Jeb in on some of the action here. Wish you can control two of these guys at once. It'd make this a lot easier. Yeah, you opened a container and grabbed a pipe endpoint. Who cares? These guys chatter way too much. Faceplant! Even in the faceplant, he still has that stupid grin on his face. I think somebody mixed laughing gas into their tank supply. There you go, now you can kind of see this pipe network taking shape. Now, I was doing this in real life, I was kind of thinking about, wow, what would you do in real life if you were on the moon and you need to fuel up rockets and stuff? Because it's, think about it, when a rocket lifts off and all that exhaust comes out, you know, here on Earth, it's all channeled nicely into a cement system of moving the exhaust away safely. But here on the moon, it's just like taking off on a gravel bed. That engine's gonna spew gravel all over the place, and that would be quite dangerous for all these modules sitting around. What you'd probably really do is have a landing site far away, maybe even over a hill or two, and you would drive with trucks, you know, drive fuel out to it and drive the astronauts out to it. You would not bring them in close. Just a little bit more and I'll start moving these vehicles around so that when I leave this, it's all set up the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, the 1.0 conundrum is quite a puzzle because lots of new stuff in there. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to try and load my .90 save file up in 1.0. For one thing, I already looked at the MKS mod, and it was one of the first ones to be updated, and some of the modules are different. You know, the command module, for instance, has completely different functionality, so I doubt that it would even load. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take this point in my career with the money and the science and all that stuff as kind of a snapshot and just rebuild a file from scratch in 1.0. So it means very quickly, you know, giving myself a whole bunch of money in science and spending it, and then very quickly setting up a Mun Base, and then I will carry on from there. Okay, here comes the last one. Okay, time to get these guys back inside for a well-deserved rest and perhaps a snack or two. They've been out for quite a bit. I don't know what their supplies are like, but I'm sure they're getting a little bit low, and I'd hate for anything to happen while my attention is on the vehicles. And I guess I may as well start up the drill. Get a little more carbonite into that tank. And oh, this is not working well with all these broken wheels here. This thing is just limping. Alright, I'll save you about a minute of flailing. And let's go over here, hook it up. This thing's going to be fueled up, and I think I'm going to take, since it's probably going back to Kerbal, I'm going to take the science with it, but I take a minute here to go through all the science and clear out ones that can be sent home. Now the OTB, look at what happens here. Nice. Next time I'll have to coat that module with Vaseline. I just had to show that. Normally I don't show the mundane stuff like this, but that was just too close for comfort. Okay, so here's the last look at the .90 tech tree. A couple things here I can pick up. Alright, well thank you for watching. I will see you again, most likely in 1.0, maybe in a week, maybe 2. And as always, fly with confidence.